Every day when you're waking up, when you're working out, or if you just need a mental boost, download Mindset to start your day right.
You asked me if an ordinary person, by studying hard, would get to be able to imagine these things like I imagine. Of course, I was an ordinary person who studied hard.
As a small boy, I used to take things apart. I wanted to find out how they work. That is still what I want, but I've moved on to bigger things. The thrill of discovering something no one knew before is like nothing else I know.
The whole idea of what happens when you read a book I find absolutely stunning. Here's some product of a tree with little black squiggles on it. Right. You open it up, and inside your head is the voice of someone speaking who may have been dead 3,000 years. And yet there he is talking directly to you. What a magical thing that is.
Do I know more about the world today than I did yesterday? That enhances meaning for me. And if that accumulates and accrues daily in a month, you know way more than you did than just that day later, so that you continue to grow.
One of the things that you're going to insist upon is that at the end of the day, you're not in worse shape than you were at the beginning of the day, right? Because that's a stupid day.
If you go to bed a little bit smarter than you were when you woke up, just having this thirst for lifelong learning, having an eagerness to learn or discover something new each day, it's going to pay off in a huge way in the long run, no matter what topics you're interested in.
There's no talent, a special ability to imagine electromagnetic fields that comes without practice and reading and learning and study. You take an ordinary person who's willing to devote a great deal of time and study and work and thinking and mathematics and timing, then he's become a scientist.
And then you say, I have a new way to understand the world. And you just run off. You don't even look back, because a new level of hunger has descended upon you. And methods and tools to feed that hunger are now accessible to you.
You're in a class, it's near the beginning of the semester, you write an exam or you hand in an essay and you don't get the mark that you desired. Okay, so what are your options? Well, one option would be, so you've hit an anomaly. Things didn't happen the way you wanted them to happen. And so maybe you say, geez, that was a boring and stupid class anyways. This gives me an excuse to get out, and so that's not such a negative thing. Or you think, oh, well, I really better buckle down and study, and you decide to stay in the class. So basically what you've done is maintained your framework. I'm going to work through this class. You've decided to modify some of the subroutines that make up that frame. You say, well, I should study more next time, or I have to prioritize this class compared to other classes. So it's a micro alteration within the overarching framework.
I think the essence of the scientific method is the willingness to admit you're wrong, the willingness to abandon ideas that don't work, the scientific way of thinking, questioning, some delicate mix of creative encouragement of new ideas and the most rigorous and skeptical scrutiny of new and old ideas. I think that is the path to the future.
People, I think, don't stand back and say, well, why are we teaching people these things? And we should tell them probably why we're teaching these things. Because a lot of kids just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there. And I think if you can explain the why of things, then that makes a huge difference to people's motivation. They understand purpose.
The things that aren't known should be talked about, because one of the ways to get things found out is to have it clear that we don't know the answers. And also one of the ways to give people the kind of responsibility and humanity which we would like to think we have is that they recognize when they don't know something and take their very ignorance into account in their planning.
Because you're a fool when you start something new. And so if you're not willing to be a fool, then you'll never start anything new. And if you never start anything new, then you won't develop. And so the willingness to be a fool is the precursor to transformation. If you're going to write your destiny, you can do a bad first job. You're going to get smarter as you move forward.
You have to fail in order to climb that ladder. There's no one that doesn't fail. We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down.
I feel fear quite strongly. If what I'm doing I think is important enough, then I just override the fear.
The scientific method itself would not have led anywhere. It would not even have been born
without a passionate striving for clear understanding.
Occasionally, a man may think that something is relevant or exciting which no one before thought concerned him professionally. That may change the history of the world.
If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up and you're 30, that's just fine. But I don't want to have to blame you for not exposing yourself to what you can be when you grow up. Visit a new thing every weekend. Go on a trip. Talk to experts in all manner of tasks, and visit a chef school. Visit a geology expedition. Just do things, and if you like it, you'll probably be better at that than anything else you choose to do, because you will invest even your downtime doing it.
I have this disease, and many other people who have studied far enough to begin to understand a little of how things work are fascinated by it, and this fascination drives them on.
And so you say in your life, well, something grips you and fills you with interest, and you think, well, should I do that? And the answer is, if not that, then something. And there is a literature too that suggests that people are a lot more unhappy when they look back on their lives about the things they didn't do than they are about the mistakes they made while they were doing things.
And dare I say that my knowledge that I'm going to die gives not only meaning to my being alive, it gives urgency to it. On my deathbed, I do not want to regret having the interest and ability to have solved a problem that I did not solve.
Sometimes you have to take chances, but people would rather play it safe. And that's that quiet desperation piece. Most lead half-led lives because the pervasive undercurrent, the fear of death, haunts them. The years are going to fly by, and you're going to be someday standing in front of a group thanking them because you're going to be retiring. You're going to go, where did those years fly by to? I'm going to make a challenge to all of you. It's so easy to sit through a presentation, say, yeah, that sounds good, and then walk away and do nothing. If it doesn't change your behavior, you haven't learned it. It's just in your head. To be a true learning experience, you have to behave differently.